All right, welcome everybody. I am excited to see everybody here. We may have a few people still jumping in. We have Sarah Jacobson today joining us as our presenter, and she is going to share her confidence selling approach with us. If you haven't seen any of this confidence selling approach yet, it's gonna blow your mind. It's really incredible. It's a lot of intentional work that she's going to give us today that you're going to do for a while after this, but she's going to really give you some great action steps to get started. I promise you that. Sarah is an amazing presenter and teacher and coach. And so Sarah Jacobson is the founder of Sarah A. Jacobson Coaching, and she helps clients to do the right work. And I'm going to allow her to give a little bit of introduction on herself as well. Before I give Sarah the floor, I'm going to have us all quickly to really protect Sarah's presentation time. I'm going to have us quickly go around the room. Just provide us with your name and the name of your industry or organization. We'll work through everybody and we'll have some time for networking and chatting after. So I'm going to go ahead and start with you, Kirby, and then Jessica, you will be on Zach. Oh, good. Okay, Kirby, you go ahead. Can you hear me, Kirby?
Yeah, I was on mute. There we go.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Kirby Chinden with Technology Solutions, Spring Lake, Michigan. And my son, who is off camera, we're in the conference room here. And yeah, glad to be here. Thank you.
Kirby. Hey, Matt, we're just doing some quick introductions around the room. I'll allow you to go after everybody else here, okay?
Sounds good.
Welcome. All right, Jessica.
Yep. Hi, Jessica Jeffrey with Clear Financials, your financial business support with any type of bookkeeping needs.
Awesome. Okay, Beth and Brock, you'll be after Beth.
Hello, I am Beth Hess with Keys to Your Brand Consulting, and I am your word girl.
Yes. Awesome. Thanks, Beth.
Oh, sorry. That's right. I'm next. Brock
next.
Hoffman with PFS Investments. I'm a financial advisor. And so, yeah, I help people with retirement planning solutions, 401k rollovers, things of that nature.
Awesome. Thanks, Brock.
Okay, hey, Matt, Horace.
Oh, you guys know each other. Okay,
Yep.
Beverly, and then TJ, you're on deck.
Okay, I am Beverly Constantine, creator behind My Chunky Table, and I'm all about food and fun.
Okay, TJ.
Hi, everyone. TJ Swore, agency owner with Farm Bureau. I do home, auto, life insurance, and business insurance as well.
Okay, Deanna.
Good afternoon. I'm Deanna Gerardo of Tranquil Interiors, full service interior design for residential and commercial spaces. We are here to enhance your home experience.
Thank you. Okay, Mary, and then Matthew, you'll be on deck.
Hi, everybody. Mary Gunther, founder, CEO of the Social G Co. We provide full-scale social media marketing services, coaching, consultation, graphic design, photography, and we just like to provide our clients with marketing that can move the needle for them. So good to see everyone.
Thanks, Mary. Okay, Matt. So everyone, Matt is a brand new member in our group. He's going to be officially welcomed into the group in August. Matt was ready to kick off and get started. So we're warming him up and acclimating him to what 52 Connections is slowly. He's had the chance to watch a couple welcome videos, intro videos, all about virtual networking and in-person networking. So I welcomed him into a masterclass workshop, lunch and learn setting so that he can see everybody and get a feel for everyone. So welcome, Matt. Matt, can you tell us your name and who, like your company, a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I am Matt. Hey, Brock, by the way. I am, yes, the new guy. And apologies, by the way, real quick. I couldn't get into the Zoom meeting, so I was a little bit late, but I figured it out. So, but it worked. It's on me, by the way. It wasn't anything else. But yeah, Matthew Horace with Haven Financial. We do ATM machines and credit card processing. So both electronic and fiat currency. Yeah, a partner. I have a partner in this business. His name is John. And yeah, that's about it. Haven Financial, we're based right in Spring Lake.
Thanks, Matt. We'll be getting to know
and
you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for joining in. Okay, so let's kick it off with Sarah Jacobson. Sarah, tell us about yourself and the work you do and what you're going to be sharing with us today. I'm super excited.
Yes, I'm so excited to be here. It's so good to hear about all of you and what you do. My name is Sarah, and I should start off right off the bat by just asking for your patience. I was on a cruise last week. I had a great time with my family, my parents, my kids, all of that. And then I came home and got off the plane on Saturday and just like terribly sick. And so I have had this head cold. It feels like I have like earmuffs on my ears. So if I'm talking really loud, you can tell me that I'm talking too loud. But I was super excited to share this. So I wanted to show up today and share this with you. I am a retired teacher and school administrator turned business coach. And what I love, love, love to do is to take what feels really, really complicated and overwhelming for people as they are building their business and turn it into a simplified, easy to follow action steps that they can actually do for their business to help them reach the goals that they have. And the clients that come to me have all kinds of different goals. Oftentimes, it's really to use the skills and abilities that they already possess to serve their clients better. It's not to create something totally new and different and all of that. It's to say, what do I already have within me that I want to use to be able to serve people? I am a faith-based coach. And so that's the stance that I kind of come from is that, you know, what does the Bible say about business, about me? And today, as I share with you, if that resonates with you, great. If it doesn't, I'll offer you some alternatives to how that might resonate for you and the values that you have. But really, that's why a lot of the clients come to me is because they also want to do what God is asking them to do in their business to be able to serve their clients. And ultimately, at the end of the day, to be able to make more money serving those clients. And so I'm super excited to share this approach with you today. It works for all businesses, all companies, whether you've been doing it for 5 days or 5 years or longer, just to help you be able to sell more confidently, which ultimately at the end of the day means serving your clients better, which I know that's really why we're all here, is to connect with more people, to be able to serve them really, really well, and to ultimately like really, really love what we're doing. So that's what we're going to talk about. So Sarah, am I able to share my screen? Oh, yep, I am. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. And I also have a workbook, which I've dropped in the chat box, so you can check that out there. Please feel free to take any notes that you want to take. You can take screenshots. That doesn't bother me. You know, pull out your phone and take pictures of the screen so that you can you know, see the information, refer back to it later. So you're welcome to do that, whatever is helpful for you. So here's what we're going to talk about today. First, we're going to talk about what actually keeps us and prevents us from selling confidently, what my confident selling approach is and how you can start to implement that right away today. And also how you can really set yourself up as the expert in your business, because really that is what people are looking for when they want to hire someone, no matter what you do, whether you're a coach, whether you're a consultant, whether you're service-based or you have a product that you're providing. People want to know that you are the best at what you do. And so I want to help set you up for success with that, because here's what actually happens when you sell confidently. You know, a lot of us probably didn't get into this business, whatever we're doing, to sell. That's not necessarily something we love to do, but it is a part of being a business owner, is being able to sell whatever it is that we have as our product. And when we can do that, it allows us to have more space to actually do what we love and spend less time on all the background stuff and the admin and all of that. It helps us when we can sell confidently hit our freedom dollar amount every month. That's the amount of money that our business needs to be making to stay in business, to hit the dreams that we have for our business, and also to provide for our family the way that we need to. And we want to be hitting that dollar amount every month by selling confidently, not going through the drudgery of having to sell something. We want to have a greater impact for our business, whatever that is. Even if it's not that we want to reach millions and millions of people, we want to have the impact on the people, whatever that group is. You know, it might be a small group of people, but we want to have a great impact on whatever that number is of those people. We want to have deeper relationships with our clients. We want to create repeat clients, because we know that when we have have repeat clients, we're doing something right. And those are the clients we want to keep. We want to have increased referrals, people who are saying, hey, come and work with this other person, letting your clients do that work for you, do some of that heavy lifting for you. When we sell confidently, we also have expanded reach of your business into new markets because we can confidently step out into the right places and spaces to be able to sell what we have to offer. We also end up having improved time management because you have a steady stream of clients to serve. Instead of going out and always having to find new clients, you can sell confidently to the ones that are already coming to you. And you have more fulfillment work because more of your time can be spent doing what you actually love, whether that's coaching or consulting or working with people in a service-based status. You have greater confidence in selling what you have to offer, which helps you be able to grow your business, and you have a stronger authority in your industry, which we all want to have that so we can really, really stand out. And all of those things sound really, really great. But here's what really stops us from having that. And we need to be able to identify what's preventing us from selling confidently so that we can address it. I tell my clients all the time that what we don't name is going to rule and reign over us. When we have something that's going on in our mindset or in our business flow, in our funnel, in our sales process, and we haven't identified what that problem is, it's going to constantly be a roadblock for us. It's constantly going to be holding us back and preventing us from either making connections with people or being able to ultimately make that sale. And so we want to name what it is that's stopping us from having a confident selling approach in the first place. So then we can fix it. We can do something about it. And so with that comes what stops us is lack of experience. If you're doing something new, it's going to be hard. I love Brene Brown and the work that she does. And she talks about this in terms of it being an FFT, which is a word that I don't use, the first F. So you can imagine what that F word is. And it's the first time. It's the freaking first time that we do something is just really, really hard. And so if that's you and it's just a really freaking hard time at the beginning and it's a lack of experience, let's name that. So then we can build up our confidence by just doing it over and over and over again. Maybe you are desperate. You really want to make the sale, but you don't have the tools behind it, or you don't have the repetition of making sales. And so you just feel really desperate in that sale, and your clients can sense that. And so they don't want to buy from you, or you don't feel confident about talking about your sale. You have self-doubt. You're questioning if people can actually buy from you, if you have what it takes. Another one that I see all the time with my own clients who come in as coaches, a lot of times they're selling some sort of one-to-one offer, or they've been told that a course is the best way to serve people, or they have some sort of offer that they've created and they just don't love it. This actually happened to me. I created an offer. I loved it at the beginning, but then it just had some problems and it wasn't working. And so then I couldn't sell it confidently because I didn't love what I was selling. There was a mismatch. You can also have lack of confidence in selling because of a perceived lack of value. You don't think people will buy from you, so then you undercharge, and then you get frustrated because what they're paying for is not really what your time and your energy is worth. You can also struggle with selling confidently because you're comparing to other people, which I think really causes imposter syndrome. You're looking at what other people are doing. And so you want to do what they're doing, but maybe you aren't as qualified and you're frustrated. And so you have this comparison and it creates a frustration for you. So you can't sell confidently. Or what often happens with all of these that are stopping you is that you're missing pieces from what I call your confident selling approach. And I want to help you be able to fix that today by giving you all of those pieces so that you do feel really confident about what you're selling, so that you can serve your clients even better. And so we want to be able to address those things because we don't want to miss out on hitting those freedom dollar amounts and all these problems. We want to increase your confidence and increase your reach and your impact. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. In my faith tradition, we have a book called Proverbs. And in that book, there's a Proverbs that I love. I quote this all the time because I really am about doing the right work for you and for your business. There is a certain amount of work that is the right work for everyone. And then there's parts of your business where there's right work for you, and then there's wrong work. That's just not the right work for your business. And so we want to do the right work for your business. And this proverb says, careful planning puts you ahead in the long run. Hurry and scurry puts you further behind. And so many business owners don't feel confident about what they're selling because they're just hurrying and scurrying all the time. They're trying to copy what other people are doing. They're always trying to keep up with the Joneses. And so they don't feel confident. And then it just creates this cycle of not being able to sell their product, feeling discouraged. And we want to reverse that. We want to feel really confident about what we're doing, how we're doing it, who we're selling to, how we're selling, what we're promising, and how we're delivering it as a person who has a certain set of skills and experiences to bring to the table. One of my life mottos is 6 P's, proper prior preparation prevents poor performance. And I want to help you be able to have excellent performance every single time. And we're going to do that by preparing ahead of time. And so this is my invitation to you to engage in today's workshop, whatever that looks like for you. If that's printing off the workshop, the link is, or workbook, the link is in the chat. Taking notes. I love to take notes. That helps me to stay focused. I always have lots of different colored pens that I use to help me take notes and make them all pretty so that I can stay engaged. But I really want to invite you to engage in what we're talking about today. The confident selling approach that I have is based on an archway. I've traveled a lot. I was just in Latin America last week on a cruise with my family. I've spent a lot of time in Europe. I lived in Germany for a long time growing up. And so I love to travel and see the architecture. And one of the things that you'll see across Europe are these Roman arches. And they were designed to be able to build bigger buildings, stronger and taller. And the Romans invented this with a keystone at the top that makes this arch even stronger to be able to build bigger aqueducts and bigger buildings. And so not necessarily one of these pieces is more important than the other. They're all important, but this keystone that I'm going to teach you is going to lock it all in place. There isn't necessarily an order that we're going to follow. A lot of my clients will come in and work with me, and we'll start in different places. Some people will start over here. Some people will start over here. It all depends on what the right work is for you and your business and where you are in the process. Anywhere we start, we need to create all 7 of these pieces to lock it in, to have you have your own confident selling approach. So the pieces are all the same, but how we get there is going to be a little bit different for each person. And so there are 3 different sections of this keystone arch that we're going to talk about today. And for me, as a Christian, I believe that we have a kingdom calling, a calling that we have as Christians by God to do the work that He has for us to do here on earth. And if that doesn't resonate with you, I believe that you have a personal calling, a calling that comes from within of what you are designed to do, why you are here on earth. So if you have the workbook, that's the first fill in the blank, is that kingdom calling, or if it's more appropriate for you, that personal calling. This section, these 3 pieces of my confident selling approach are really about knowing you, yourself, your specific skills and experiences. I believe that everyone has something unique to bring to the table. Experiences that you have, skills, abilities, all of that you bring to the table. And how are you going to best serve your clients, the ones you are called to serve, with those skills and abilities? So that's the first area we're going to talk about today, is the kingdom or personal calling. The second area we're going to talk about is your abundant sales path. Because if you start with you and what you bring to the table, now we have to create a way for you to actually sell what it is that you're going to offer. And so we're going to be talking about who your ideal client is, what their pain points are, what their problems are that you uniquely solve because you have this kingdom or personal calling to be able to solve it. And we're going to talk about how they may have objections to what you have to offer to work with. We're also going to be talking about the journey that you're going to take them on, because every client is different and every business is different. And also what amount of money you need to be making to hit that abundant sales path every single month. So those are the first two sections of this Keystone Arch. And then the last section is this keystone, this piece that locks it all in together. It's what I call God first growth, putting first what he has asked you to do. And if that doesn't resonate with you, then you can also think about it in terms of what are your values? What values do you hold that drive your business? Is it really for you about making the most money? Great. Let's name that. Let's put that as our keystone, and let's make a plan for you to make the most money. But if your values are something different, like I want to spend time with my family, I want to have boundaries on my work hours so that I'm not working all the time. Great. Let's put that value in place and design your business to work around what that value is. Instead of letting your business run you and be dictating to you your hours and how you're running your business and what you're doing and what your goals are, we're putting either our God first growth model in place or what our values are that drive our business and drive us to do this work. And so we want to be able to name that and know what that is so that all of this locks into place. Because when we have a business that's based on the values and what God has asked us to do, that gives us confidence, and that gives us the ability to sell what we have to offer. Pull out that piece. If we're missing a piece, one of these pieces, or specifically your God first or values first, values-based growth piece, all of this falls apart and you don't feel confident. Your business starts running over you. You're working all these hours, you're resenting your work, you are frustrated because you don't have this, balance that you're looking for. You aren't able to sell to the right people. Maybe you're getting clients, but they're not the right clients. And so there's this fit that just isn't working. When we have missing pieces in our business, in our confident selling approach, and it all starts to fall apart. And we go back to those challenges that I talked about at the beginning, not hitting our freedom dollar amount, not having referrals, not having a clear path for our clients to follow. So maybe we're getting leads, but they're not, sticking with us. We're not making the sale in the end. And so we want to be able to fill in all of the pieces and not have these missing pieces so that we can have that confident selling approach every single day, every single time we're talking to people without feeling salesy or icky or scammy, like we're trying to, be like a used car salesman. We want to feel really, really confident about what we're doing. And so that's what we're going to talk through today, these pieces, the three main areas of your confident selling approach, so that you can create your own plan and feel really, really confident about what you're doing in your business. This also helps you be able to clarify who you want to target, who you want to work with. It helps you in the 52 connections group, being able to say, this is who I work with, this is what I do. So then other people in this group can refer people to you. You may not be, getting direct people from 52 connections, but people in 52 connections can say, oh yeah, I know who Sarah Jacobson is, and you should be working with her because I know what she does. And you can clearly be able to communicate that to other people when you have this confident selling approach all laid out. This is really the work behind the work. People like Mary who do social media and all that stuff for you, they want you to be able to have all this information that I'm talking about in this confident selling approach before you work with her so that she knows what to post on social media for you. She knows how to attract the right clients for you via the social media strategies that she's using because you've done all of this work already. If you want to create a website with Corey and some of the other people who have great products here in 52 Connections, this is the work you've got to do before you hire them to create a website, because this is what you put on a website, this confident selling approach. This is all of the work behind the work that you do that actually attracts your clients. It's that foundational piece. So let's dive right into it. Again, you're going to want to have that workbook. If you don't have it printed, that's okay. You're going to want to have at least a scratch piece of paper. I'm a former teacher, and so I'm really big on doing assessments and evaluations. And so you're going to want to evaluate yourself today, either on a scratch piece of paper or on the workbook. There's a little line in the workbook that you can use. We're going to rate our confidence in each of these areas as I go through them. And here's my biggest piece of advice. Don't overthink it. You can raise your hand if you're an overthinker, just like I am, where I tend to like over process everything and like make it more complicated. My business partner that I have a podcast with, she's always telling me, keep it simple, Sarah, don't overcomplicate it. And so you only have 3 scores. I didn't even do a scale of 5. I just did a scale of 0, 1, and 2 for all of us overthinkers. You're going to rank how confident you are in each area. This isn't about shaming. This isn't about guilt. This isn't about justifying, well, I just haven't gotten to it yet. Or, I've tried, but I haven't done it. This is just very objective. 0, I don't have that in my business at all. And that's okay. That's why you're here today. Or a 1 where I have part of that, but really not enough that I feel confident about it, or a 2. And a 2 does not mean 100%, because I don't believe as business owners we're ever really at 100%. Somewhere between 75, 80% and higher is a 2. So be really generous with yourself, be very gentle with yourself as you're giving yourself these ratings, but you're going to rate yourself in each of those areas, a 0, a 1, or a 2. And I'm going to remind you to do that as we move through these. So make sure that you're ranking yourself. So that first area of your kingdom or personal calling is really about yourself. And I believe that we overlook this all too often in business, because when you start in business, what do people tell you? Think about your client. What does your client need? Who is your client? What are their problems? But really, as a business owner, no matter what you're doing, whether you are painting someone's house or whether you are helping them financially plan, whether you're helping them network like Sarah or helping them have fun with food like Beverly, no matter what you're doing, you've got to start with you and what your skills and your abilities are. What do you uniquely bring to the table? Last week or a couple weeks ago now, July is already like kind of melding together for me. Scott did an amazing workshop on the predictive index. This is a piece that you can use in learning about yourself. If you didn't participate in that, I would encourage you to go back and learn from that, because that was a great tool. I personally love the Enneagram. I use that a lot. If you've done Myers-Briggs or DISC, I mean, there's all sorts of things that you can do to learn about yourself and who you are and what you bring to the table. In my business, in my coaching, what I use is a tool that I created. It's called the Salts Finder, like salt that you put on your food. In the Bible, Jesus talks about us being the salt of the earth and bringing flavor and good taste to other people. And so what do I bring? What salt do I bring to other people? And here's what my Salts Finder stands for. It has 5 areas. The first area we talk about to discover for you is the S, and that's your story. Everyone has a story, and your story is powerful. Stories win people over. Stories sell. Stories connect us to other people, and knowing our story and what we've experienced helps us be able to sell. I could talk about that all day because I just believe so much in the value of knowing your story, but I'll keep it going. The A is your abilities. This is what you've learned how to do. You went to college to learn it. You've taken courses. You've worked on it. You've honed it. That's your A, the abilities that you have. Your L is your loves, your passions, what you're burdened for, who you're burdened for. We all love people, but what kind of people are we burdened to work with and to help and to support? The T are the talents that you have. This is what comes naturally to you. For me, teaching is a talent that I have. I've been doing it since I was little. In kindergarten, I was helping the preschoolers. In 3rd grade, I was helping the kindergartners. I mean, all the way up through, I've been teaching people. And so that's a talent that I have. It's also an ability that I've worked to hone. I went to college for it. I have a master's degree in it. Teaching is what I love to do. So that's a talent and an ability that I bring to the table as a coach in my business that other people don't have. There are other coaches out there that are great coaches. They don't have that talent and ability that I do to actually break down what feels complicated and make it more simple. And so I need to recognize that and own that as a teacher, I have a skill and an ability that I bring to the table. And then the last S is one that I think a lot of people overlook or they don't want to admit, is that they have a certain stage of life that they're in that brings them an area of expertise. Whether it's, you know, that you are an older mom and you have teenagers or kids that are older and you want to work with moms who are younger, your stage of life impacts how you can position yourself as an authority and expertise. Maybe you're younger and you're feeling like my stage of life doesn't actually help me in my business. It's a hindrance. Well, let's call that out and let's find what is good about that. There's a lot of good things about being younger. When I was a school administrator, I loved to hire younger teachers because I could mold them and shape them into the type of teacher that I wanted to have at my school. So being young or inexperienced isn't necessarily a bad thing. Let's just name that stage of life that you're in or stage of experience that you're in and to your edge. And so we're going to take all of those parts of my salts finder, your story, abilities, your loves, your talents, and your stage of life so that you know who you are and what you uniquely bring to the table. This is an area that I just love to talk about. I could talk about it all day because I think a lot of us overlook what we actually bring to the table and we aren't talking about it enough in a unique way to position ourselves as the authority in our business in what we're doing. And so that's the first piece. So I want you to take just a minute. Don't overthink it. Don't overcomplicate it. Do you know that for yourself? I call it your superpower. What is your superpower that you bring to the table as a business owner? Do you know it? Are you a 0? I don't really know that at all. I'm not really sure what I actually bring to the table. I question myself a lot in what my abilities are. Do I know a little bit of it? Give yourself a 1. Or do I feel really, really confident about it? I talk about my superpower just as an example is my superpower is I take what feels overcomplicated and overwhelming to other people and I break it down into simple steps. And I use my superpower to ignite action in others to help them spur on to do the work that God has called them to do to reach their highest potential growth. And so that for me is my 2. It's, you know, most days I feel like it's about a 95% there. Some days I question it and I'm like, oh, maybe that's only 75%, but it's still a 2 for me because I pretty much know that that's my superpower. So where are you with that? All right, let's move on to the second area, and that's your ideal client, knowing your ideal client. Who is this person? Who are they? And what is the problem that they have that I am going to solve for them? A lot of times you'll hear business coaches talk about this like an avatar, and they'll talk about like, where does this person shop? And, you know, what do they like to do? And what income do they have? I don't believe in doing that kind of work. I believe in talking about what the problem is that your ideal client has and being super specific on it so that you can provide a solution that they want to pay you for. So you want to be thinking about what are their pain points? What behaviors are they doing that are preventing them from being able to reach the target that they want to reach? What are their ultimate dreams? And you might think, Sarah, I just sell insurance, or Sarah, I just do financial planning. People have a dream around that product. For example, with insurance, my dream is that I can have affordable insurance because I have a high school teenager that's going to be added to my insurance policy next month. And so I have a very specific pain point there that can be addressed. And so we want to understand that about our ideal client so we can speak their language and be able to solve that problem for them. And when we can partner that with who I am uniquely as a coach or a salesperson or an accountant, whatever I'm providing as a service, then they go, oh, you can help me hit my dream. And I want to work with you because I like who you specifically are. I'm going to pick you over someone else. So we start to put these pieces together that make us more confident about what we're doing, and it attracts the right people to us so they want to work with us and not someone else. We want to have a very specific group of people that we can target as our ideal client. And we're answering the question, what problem, specific, very specific problem, do I solve for that group of people? And so take a moment to rank yourself. How do you think you are in understanding your dream client? Don't overthink it. If you're like, I don't really know that at all, I just know what I sell or what product I have, then put a 0. If you think you know some of it, I would put a 1. And if you like nailed it, I know this in and out, I could describe this person all day, I could write a book about my ideal client, then you're a 2. So for example, for me, my ideal client are faith-driven coaches and consultants who want to do what God has asked them to do using their unique skills and abilities to serve others and make money. And I'll be honest, this is one that I would honestly rank as a 1 for myself. A lot of times I feel like there are a lot of days where I question my ideal client and do I really know? So if this is an area where you kind of struggle, you're in a good company there. It's a tough one to figure out, but once you do, it's like, oh yes, now I understand exactly who I want to work with. So let's just pause for just a minute and maybe just in the chat box, if you're willing on those first couple, how would you rank yourself on those first couple? 0s, 1s, 2s, how are you guys feeling about those first couple of areas? 1 to 2, sweet. 1s, all right.
That was supposed to be an S, but a 2 slipped in there.
Oh, gotcha. Anybody else, how you're feeling on those? 1 to 2? All right, good. 1 to 2, 2 to 1s, good. At least, so you at least have some good idea of where you are. Great. 1.5. Okay, Deanna is breaking the rules a little bit. I like it. Little rebel there. Great. All right, let's go on to the next one. The next area that we're going to talk about in this kingdom calling or personal calling section is your method or your framework. This is how you specifically help the people achieve the transformation that you are looking for. And I talk about this in terms of the steps that you follow to help them get to the end result that you want them to get. And there's a couple of different ways that you can do this. One is, and I'll call out Sarah because Sarah and I have been working on this, is that you can have some pillars that you want people to hit. And those pillars might be ideas or values or tools that you want them to know how to use that don't necessarily go in a specific order. It doesn't matter which one we do first. We can start with any one of them and still get to the correct target. So for example, my approach here is kind of like pillars. We can start with any one of these and still get to the same end result. You may also have steps that people have to follow. We always start with step number 1, then we go to step number 2, then we go to step number 3, and we have to follow them. Other frameworks that I've seen that work for people in the past are they just have a set of values that they use, or they have a process that they want to teach. But whatever that is, however you define your method or your framework, it is unique to you and it helps you stand out as an authority. People go, I want to learn how to use what you are teaching. It allows you to distinguish yourself from every other person who is doing what you already do. So that you can say, yeah, I'm a social media manager, or I am a painter, or I, sell financial planning. But here's the method that I use that actually gets people results. Here's the steps that I take. This is part of that, taking something that feels overwhelming to other people and breaking it down to make it very simplified. And so whatever feels really easy to you in your business and what you're doing, you want to make it simplified for other people because it doesn't feel simple to them. That's why they're paying you. That's why they're coming to you to work with you, because they don't know how to do what you have to offer on their own. And so having a framework or a method helps your clients go, oh, I can actually get my mind around what you're doing. So for example, when I first met Sarah Barco a couple of years ago, networking felt like this like overwhelming thing, something I didn't understand. I didn't know how to like break into it. Do you just go up to random people and like shake their hand? Like, what do I say? Well, she has a framework or a method, a process that she teaches. Here's where we're going to start. Then we're going to do this. Then we're going to do this. Then we're going to do this. And here's the results that you're going to get as going through this process. Oh, now I understand networking. I can do that. I don't have to do steps 1 through 10 all at the beginning. I can start with step number 1. Then when I understand step number 1, then I can do step number 2. It breaks it down and it makes it possible. And so people go, oh yeah, I actually want to invest with Sarah Barco in networking because I see how that process works and that I can actually do it for myself. And so we want to have a framework or a method. It can be very, very simple, easy. My biz bestie is a photographer. And so her method is really simple. It's like, we're going to have a consultation so that I know what you want for your branding photo shoot. We're going to take your photos and then I'm going to follow up with you so you know how to use the photos that I've given you in your photo shoot. That's very simple, but it goes, oh yeah, that makes my investment, this big investment I'm going to make in taking photos with you, valuable because I see how you take me from start to finish of what I'm going to wear for this photo shoot, all the way to how am I going to use these new photos on my website. It makes it very simplified so that people can understand what you do and you can explain to them so you feel confident about it and they want to invest with you. Okay, so now you know what to do. You're going to rank. Do I have a framework? Do I not? Do I not even understand what it is? Am I a 0, a 1, or a 2? So you can do that. So those are the first 3 areas, your kingdom calling, we put those all together, or your personal calling of what am I uniquely called to do and who am I uniquely called to help. Now we're going to move over to the right side and we'll go through these pretty quickly of what is your abundant sales path? How do I sell what I sell so that I can hit my freedom dollar amount every month? And the first piece of this is your irresistible offer. It's what do you have to offer to people? And your offer really has 3 parts. No matter what you're selling, it has 3 parts. And this is where a lot of people don't feel confident about what they're selling because they're missing one of these 3 parts. And the 3 parts are these. It's very simple. 1, what results your offer gets them. Why do I want to buy what you have to offer? What am I going to get out of it? We're human beings. And so there's a lot of selling psychology when it comes to selling and sales and purchasing. And we want to be able to address what people are questioning in our offer before they even ask us. Rob and Sarah did a great presentation. I would go back. I highly recommend going back and watching it on objections, because we want to address these things before people even ask them so that we, again, position ourselves as the authority. And so what is the result that I am getting for people? What is the tangible result? Because when we know that, we can price our offer accordingly. And if you're like, Sarah, my offer is already priced, like I don't have any control over that, then sharing what the results are that you get for people is going to help you be able to justify whatever that price is going to be able to help you explain why that is. So what are the results? Very, very specific results that you get for people. Then what a lot of people think an offer is what's included. What do I get as a result of it? You know, is it a certain number of coaching calls with you? Is it a certain number of products? Is it a certain number of, tangible, compute, you get a certain number of computers or you get certain access to a certain amount of software. What is it that's included? But that can't be the only thing that you include in your offer, because people don't pay for just that. They pay for the results of what is included in your offer gets them. That's what they really, really want. And then the third part of your offer is your price. What are they paying for the results that you get them and what's included? You need all 3 in your irresistible offer for you to feel really, really confident about what you sell. Oftentimes when clients come to work with me, I help them raise their prices simply by talking about what results their product gets for them. Because when they see the results that they're getting for people, they feel better about charging more money for it. Not talking about including more, stuff in it or services or products. Just simply talking about what results you get for your clients is going to help you be able to raise your prices. So let's think about your irresistible offer. Let's rank how confident you are in loving that irresistible offer. And I'll be honest, there was a time where I didn't love mine. I had to change it so that I could love it, so that I could sell it. And my example is that I do group coaching and also one-to-one VIP coaching to help my clients be able to create this confident selling approach and a freedom impact plan so they can do what God has called them to do and also just love what they're doing. That's what I want people to do, is at the end of the day, I love what I'm doing. So rank yourself there. The next one is your client journey. This is how you move clients from the process of just being interested in what you have to offer to purchasing from you. And everybody's client journey is different. Everybody's client journey is different. People think that they can just copy someone else's, that they can do funnel hacking and see what other people are doing and just copying it. But what happens is you're creating a client journey based on your ideal client, their needs, and you're also basing your client journey on you. If you are an extrovert, then what you include in your client journey might be more high touch interaction, webinars, phone calls, where you're really interacting with people because you're extroverted and you love that type of energy. But if you're an introvert, then the way you set up your client journey is going to be different. It might include more emails or more DMs where you're kind of chatting back and forth via text or voice memos, because you like to have more one-to-one type conversations with people. So your client journey has to be based on both what you love to deliver and how you love to show up, and also what your clients need. And that's really, really important to help close the sale from start, from meeting them, from them being a cold lead to them going to being someone that is a raving fan and now is referring people to your business. So we'll take just a minute to rank that. Do I have a clear client journey from start to finish that's actually based on me and what I love to do? And if it's not based on you and what you love to do, then maybe you need to hire someone to be that intermediate person. If you're not an extrovert or you're not a salesperson, maybe you need to hire someone that does your sales calls for you, that does kind of do some of that extroverted work for you so that you can close the sale. And so you can go ahead and rank that. The last piece of this abundant sales approach on the right side is your freedom dollar amount. It's the amount of money that you need to make in your business to run your business and save for the future of your business, to be financially solvent and, in a good place financially. And also the amount of money that you need to make to provide for your family. We need to know those numbers. And all too often people come into business coaching, I'm going to start a coaching business or a consulting business, and they have all these huge numbers in mind that they want to hit every month, but they don't actually understand what their business needs to make every month to run and to save for the future and also provide financially for their family. And so we want to have that clear dollar amount. Otherwise, we're chasing after a number that isn't realistic for ourselves. We don't have a real an irresistible offer that actually matches what our freedom dollar amount is. If you have an offer that only makes a couple of $100s a month, but your freedom dollar amount is in the tens of thousands of dollars, you're going to have to adjust what your expectations are, what your client journey is, to be able to make those numbers match. We want to be very, very realistic about those. And that ties back into your irresistible offer and also how you like to deliver. If you like doing one-to-one coaching, but your freedom dollar amount is a certain amount, does what you offer one-to-one coaching lead you to being able to hit that freedom dollar amount? If you can only take 5 clients a month as a one-to-one coach because your calendar is full, then are you going to be able to hit that freedom dollar amount? We have to make it match so that what you're delivering based on what you love to do is actually possible with this freedom dollar amount. And so you can rank that. Do you feel confident in truly understanding, knowing, and hitting your freedom dollar amount every month? Either no, I don't really understand that at all, I'm just making money and I'm here for the ride, or I understand parts of it, but not all. I might need to get some help. I know there's some financial planners in here. Jessica's an accountant that can help you manage your money. Doing this process can help you see where need to actually start bringing people into my business to support me and help me. Where are some of these areas that I'm kind of lacking in as a business owner? Maybe this isn't something I really even want to learn that much about, so I'm going to hire someone to do it for me. When we have this confident selling approach with all of these pieces, we can start to see where we have holes and be able to hire people to be able to support us again, so we feel more confident in our business. All right, we've hit this last area, this keystone piece of the arch, and that is ultimately for me, what is God asking me to do? Or the other question is, what values drive my business? And they go together. You can choose whichever question resonates the most with you. For me, it really is about, what is God asking me to do based on all of these pieces of my confident selling approach? What are the most important parts of my business? This is going to help us stop the comparison game, because when I know what I'm supposed to do based on the values that I have, I put these blinders on and I'm not looking at what everybody else is doing. I'm just doing the work that I am doing. I had this image this weekend as I was kind of imagining this. When you take your dog or your cat to the vet and they have to wear the cone of shame, that cone of shame puts a blinder on, you're like in this cone and that's all you can see, That's what this does for you. It feels limiting and restricting, but ultimately when you know this piece of your business, of what God's asking you to do and what your values are that drive your business, it actually gives you the freedom that you were ultimately looking for in the first place, because all that other stuff, all this peripheral stuff that was distracting you goes away, because I'm not going to do that, because that's not what God's asking me to do, or that's not the values that drive my business. And so I can just much more easily say, no, I'm not doing that, and focus on the values that you have, that you uniquely want to have for your business. And so you're going to rank that 0, 1, or 2, where you are with that, either your own personal values or what God has asked you to do. And so I'm going to give you this is all the pieces of this confident selling approach. On the top left is your kingdom or your personal calling. That includes yourself, knowing your ideal client and your method or your framework. On the right is the abundant sales path that has those pieces of what's your irresistible offer, your unique client journey, that freedom dollar amount that you want to hit every month. And then in the middle with that keystone piece that we just talked about is, what has God asked you to do and what values drive my business for that God first or values-based approach. And so if you want to take a screenshot, you're welcome to do that so that you can have that information, because this really is all of the pieces. And I'm not going to go back through these, but again, you can take a screenshot of this if that's helpful to you. This is just a summary of everything we've just talked about. These are the pieces that really create that complete arch, the complete process. We don't want to have any missing pieces there, because then that's where we start to question ourselves, or we start to back off. Should I really be charging these prices? Am I really going to be able to do this? Why would people want to pick me versus someone else who's doing the same thing? When we have all of these pieces, we feel really, really confident about what we're doing. And so your next step, I always like to leave people with, what's your next step? Because where do we go from here? What do I do with this? Great, this is a ton of information. Now what? Well, your next step is to look at those areas where you already feel like you are a 2 or a 2+. I feel really, really good about these areas. It might be 1 or 2 of them. I believe strongly in celebrating where we already have, accomplished something. This helps keep us motivated as business owners, and it helps us keep going. We always start with what we're doing really, really well, to celebrate that, to be able to say, I've done some work in this area. I've invested a lot of time and energy into this, and this is something that I'm doing really, really well. Let's name that so that we can use that and leverage it in our business. Then take a look at what your lowest scores are. Maybe it's a 1, or maybe if you're Deanna and you're breaking the rules a little bit, it's a 0.5. But where are some of your lower scores? Where are some areas where you're like, yeah, that's not something I either understand, or maybe it's something that I used to have and I used to be really clear on, but maybe I need to do some work and invest in these areas. Maybe it's that freedom dollar amount where you're like, this is really running my life right now. I don't understand what I need to be making. I've got so many bills in my business that I don't have a handle on. Okay, then let's hire someone from this 52 connections group to help you with that so that you can get that up to a 2+. And then which one is a step that you can clarify and make an impact on. And here's a piece of advice that I have about this is don't start with your lowest score, because oftentimes that can feel so overwhelming. Start with one of those middle scores that's like, 0.5 to 1.5, where it's like, I think if I just spent a little bit of time on this, I could get it to a 2 pretty easily. Because if you start there, you're going to get a quick win, and then you're going to want to keep going with this. And then we'll move on to those lower scores. But start with something that's in the middle where you can get that quick win, because we want to have this complete confident selling approach at the end of the day. We want to be able to just have these answers pretty easy off the top of our head. What do you do? Who do you like to serve? Beth Hess did a whole thing on how to do an introduction for you. Well, that comes from this confident selling approach and knowing this information that I have shared with you so that you can introduce yourself. Here's what I do. Here's the results that I get for people. And here's the type of people that I love, love, love to work with at the end of the day. So thank you so much for sticking with me on this whole confident selling approach. I love to talk about this. I love to work with people on this. If you want to work with me, I would love to work with you. I'd love to chat with you. If you just want to have a conversation about what I do, I'd love to learn more about what you do. I offer a group coaching community. It is for female coaches in the faith-driven space who want to learn how to do the right work and dive into doing this confident selling approach. I'm also launching a Faith and Business Academy for faith-driven female coaches starting in August, where we're going to go through in 6 months each of these pieces, one per month, really, really deeply in an all-in coaching approach. And I also do one-to-one coaching for both men and women, and we'll dive into your confident selling approach for 3 months of coaching who want to just really clarify their business and build that confidence. And so I'll pop this up and then I'll turn it back over to Sarah. This is how you can connect with me. I have a podcast called The Christian Business Breakdown. I'm also on Instagram at Do the Right Work. You can also connect with me in the 52 Connections group. I'm in there a lot. And I'd love to chat with you. So I'll turn it back over to Sarah. I'm here for questions. You can always reach out to me in the 52 Connections and we can set up a time to chat. I'd love to connect with you. So thanks for joining me today and sticking with me.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sarah. That was amazing. I don't know how you got through it in that short a time, because I was like, we need like 2 hours for this workshop. We like needed
Yes.
4 when we've done it. So I'm like, man, and she's sick, but you nailed it. You hit so many great points. Wait, don't I was going to take a picture before he jumped out there. Nobody else leave until I take a picture. Let me do that really, really fast, because
yes, I know people will have to go.
Yeah, and Brian, it wasn't on. Jeff is okay. There's Jeff. Mary can't be on. Mary, you're beautiful in that photo. So everybody cheese. Awesome. Okay, good. I love that Sarah said, having this framework is going to just completely transform your direction in this networking community and 52 Connections. Having a clear message for people to understand, if we're not your ideal audience, we know your ideal audience, and we're out there networking with your ideal audience every single day. We just need to know what to say and need to know how to have a clear message to relay that to them. We are crossing paths with everybody all the time. And so when we have you in the right mindset in our mind, and we know your message, and we can be clear on that and have those words, we can clearly direct you to that person. I encourage you, utilize Sarah. Take a session with her one-on-one, talk with her. It's mind-blowing. She's very, very good at what she does in helping you overcome some of these steps. You also have a ton of experts in this room. Utilize every single one of them. Take some time. You have a wordsmith in here that can help you form some of these words. but every one of you has value that you can bring to other people. So if you sit across the table and you're having a conversation and someone says, I'm really struggling with this, and you're like, well, have you thought of this? It can be like that zing moment that someone's like, no, I actually have never thought of it that way. So look at those around you in this room today and find someone that you can reach out to and just have a conversation, because I guarantee you, you're going to get insight. Make sure that you utilize a time with Sarah to get clear on this framework, though. This is her area of expertise. So if there's a part of this that you want to dive into more and you're like, that 0, that 1 area, I want to, or that, I'm tipping the edge of this 2, I want that quick win. Get with her and ask her what's the quick way over that hump so that you can have that win and dive into the next step. So anyway, questions, everybody open up. And go.
Well, I'll ask a question. What areas did you guys feel like you ranked the highest in that were like, yep, I've got that. I'm a 2+. I'd love to know those.
I would say for me, it was, I gotta find it now, what it was called. Establish your freedom dollar amount.
Mm.
I think that, for me, I don't know, I've always been like really forward thinking and a big dreamer, and, wanted to be successful in my life. And I graduated as an engineer and then got into financial advising after that. And just thinking about the possibilities that can come with owning your own business and working for yourself, and helping people achieve some of their most pressing problems and some major goals in their life. That's something that I've always really thought about, is like, how can I create a business that allows me to be free financially, and have freedom of time, freedom of money. So it's definitely something I think a lot about in my business, and I feel like I grasp on what that looks like.
I love that. Thank you for sharing.
Sure.
I think for me, it was the yourself component. I served 30 years in education, and so I sort of relate to some of the things you're saying, Sarah. We also service a lot of faith-based organizations and nonprofits in our work. So I really like the salts. That was new to me, but I'm going to leverage that in a lot of ways. That was really good. Thank you.
Good. Love that.
For me, it's I would say my irresistible offer, because sometimes I can't necessarily control the price or the specific product, so I have to, sell myself as the agent and know that I am providing them with the best possible coverage, and that believing that they're better off having me as their agent than someone else. So I would say that, my offer of myself and giving them the best coverage possible.
Yeah, I love that.
I know you girls are waiting for me, so.
Oh, yeah.
I would say I actually felt like I ranked myself the highest with my superpower. I feel like I know what I have to offer. I just need to offer it. And that's kind of where I'm at. But I do have to put a plug in for Sarah, because I am currently working with her and she's absolutely amazing. I'm also working with, let's see, Beth. I will be working with Jessica. So I hope you do take Sarah's advice to really notice who's in the group, get to know people, figure out how you can utilize people, because there is so much talent in this group.
Yeah. Thanks, Beverly. I appreciate it. All right, let's take a minute. I know people have to go, so I know if you have to go, that's okay. But maybe one of those areas that's kind of in the middle for you of, I'm not clear on it. I used to be clear, or it just is confusing to me. And I know if I just had a little push, I'd be able to get it up to a 2. Are there any of those areas that you guys have?
Yeah, I'll say mine. I had a couple of those actually, but again, I'm working with Sarah too, and she's been phenomenal with pushing me to get these things done.
Yes.
Probably my my middle one the most right now is just client journey.
Mm,
Because I have very distinct different services I provide. So it's kind of each service has a different client journey, and trying to weave in more things that are me. Like I love education. I'm education based as well, but I do books. So it's educating my clients on their books, which is different in my industry than most people do. So just trying to weave that in and communication and how to do that. So
mhm. Yeah,
like it's in my brain, but it hasn't been like timelined out, I guess,
yeah,
is what I would
yeah.
say.
Yeah, and I think yours is unique because, like you said, you do kind of have multiple offers. Sarah Barco and I have talked about that too, of like, I have a couple of different end results. And so what does that client journey look like,
Mhm.
to move these different people through to get to a different endpoint? And how can I do that well
Mhm.
without having to be on my computer 24 hours a day managing it, like. So then we need Jeanette Stein to help us automate it so that it can
Yeah,
still be relational,
exactly.
but, move smoothly.
Plug for Jeanette and Chat
Yes.
GPT has been a lifesaver. That's all I gotta
Yes.
say. Go
Yep.
talk to her. She's amazing.
Agree. 100%.
I'm really excited about being able to utilize this in all the facets of the work though. Like when you look at your website and when you look at your social media and how you mentioned being able to hand that off and like giving, so it doesn't always have to be you doing it, but because you have this framework all laid out so perfectly, in any time that you're like, I can't do this anymore, this isn't my work to do anymore, you can pass that off and it's already done. And so I love that you said that too. I think that that's a piece that I'm super excited about and in getting to that point. I struggle where Jessica is right now in the journey because I have a couple of unique places and trying to merge that all to like what kind of comes together from this and is the same.
Mhm.
And so just getting that clear journey has been a lot of work, but so beneficial in so many
Yeah.
areas.
Yeah, and I love that you said that because that's why all of these pieces matter, is that when you're doing your client journey and you're creating it and you know what skills you offer, then
Mhm.
it does make it easier to hand off,
Right.
whatever you want to hand off, because you recognize this isn't where I want to be spending my time and energy, because in the middle, I said my values where I actually want to be with my family.
Yeah.
So all of these pieces work together. And I think the areas where we struggle as business owners, where we feel guilt or we feel like I should be doing these things, this confident selling approach helps you be able to make those decisions easier and go, no, these are my values. So when I said I want to hire someone to do this work for me, I'm doing that based off of my values, what I'm good at, where I want to be spending my time, my freedom dollar amount. And that makes that decision. Yep, I'm doing that because all these pieces fit together.
Yeah. So good. I love that.
Yeah.
It makes it feel so
Anybody
good.
else with just one of those areas in the middle of like, maybe it's a one or so of just, I would love some more clarity on this.
I mean, I guess I can speak up real fast. I just, the one that clicked to me that went back and forth and I couldn't figure out, I was thinking too much about it, but was identify your ideal client. I feel like that would be so easy, honestly, but I have a problem sometimes in the fact that I just want to help everybody, right? One of the things that I believe as a financial advisor is that everybody deserves the tools and the resources to live a financially independent future. And I'll help somebody start investing for as little as $50 a month. Where a lot of firms, they can't maybe help somebody unless they've got $250,000 or $500,000. And while that's where the big money is, and that's where you get paid, sometimes people are like, well, what's your ideal client? I would say my ideal client where I make money, because that's important too, is the person that's retiring and the person that has a lump sum of assets and maybe a buyout pension, and they want to create a whole retirement plan and stuff like that, and they're forward thinking in that sense. But I also have so much passion and excitement and reward in helping somebody just getting started that's my age, because I know that if I did that for somebody at 20 years old, by the time they're 60, they're going to be a multimillionaire, just by starting at 20. So I have that hard balance back and forth, and I'm like, I need to I need to zone in on who I should focus on though, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that is very, very common. I think whether you're a life coach or a financial planner, no matter what you're doing, I think, Brock, what you're sharing is very, very common. One of the terms that Beth Hess actually helped me be able to use that helped me, because I want to help everybody too, right? Like I'm a teacher, I'm a mom, I want to help everybody. But one of the things that Beth taught me was having a list of minimum barrier of entry. Because the truth is, you probably don't want to help everybody. You want to help people who, you use the term forward thinkers, people who are ready to invest. Well, that's not everybody. Not everybody is ready to invest. Not everybody really cares about their future and their finances. They should, but they don't. And people who are forward thinking, ready to invest, whether it's $50 or, $5 million. And so, thanks, TJ. We'll see you. So getting like that minimum barrier of entry, Brock, of who are they and what's this minimum, things that they have to be able to do, or mental, mindset that they have that makes them an ideal client. They're ready. They have some amount of money that they want to invest. They're interested in this. They're motivated by it. Maybe they've had some sort of life change, whether that's they just graduated college or they're retiring. And so that can help you start to identify your ideal client too, is having just that simple list. And if people aren't hitting some of that criteria, then, that they're not your ideal client. Yeah, Beth, you can speak to that. What do they already need to know, think, or believe to get the best results from your offer? And that starts to eliminate that I can help everybody mentality.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that's helpful. Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for sharing. I know it's not easy to be like, yeah, I'm not very good at this. So I appreciate you sharing that. Anybody else?
All right, I'm just going to chime in. I'm the new guy, so I was going to try not to talk.
Oh, no, love it. Love it.
So, and this is a little bit off topic, but I got to tell you, and I got to thank you. This was impactful for me because incorporating faith into what we do, I forget that, and I haven't done it, and I need to do that. And boy, when it just first popped up on the screen, I thought, my goodness, what in the world? I never even considered it. And I thought, you know what? And I'm going to take this as a sign, and I need to do that. And so anyway, a little bit off topic, but really was impactful. So thank you. I needed to hear that.
Yeah, no, I love that. That's not off topic at all, because that's, one of those areas of what is God asking me to do? And that looks different for everybody. When I first started, I was really afraid to talk about God because I had come out of the public education system, and it was like, you didn't say anything, and I really tried to just show people the love of God without ever, letting people know that. And so I really struggled with that until God was like, Sarah, this is who you are. This is how you live your life. So you got to talk about it. And it just felt so freeing to me, whereas other people, they don't talk about their faith overtly, but they, people know. You have to find what that is for you. And that's why I love that question of what's God asking you to do? What's important for you and your business? I'm not going to tell you what the right work is for you. I just want to help you figure it out for what that is for your business, so you can ultimately love what you do.
Right.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah. I love that. Thank you for sharing. That's encouraging to me.
Very cool. All right. Well, I know we want to stay close to time. I know we're a little over. I knew we would be. And I appreciate you guys for sticking it out and putting yourself out there, vulnerably sharing insight with all, because we all learn from all of this when others in the room share. So yeah, I appreciate all of you coming in. And Matthew, I hope that this was helpful for you to see what a lunch and learn looks like. And we'll chat after. But if anyone wants to linger around, I'm here for a little bit. I can stick around as well. So, but others that have to jump and jet, I got it. You can do that. I'm going to end the recording. So thank you everybody for coming in and watching the replay.